An intimate look at Rough House Publishing.
Yes. Barbara Walters inside Rough House.
Yeah. There's a double entendre in there somewhere.
Oh, there are plenty of them.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Van Samson,
Curtis M. Lawson,
Paul Christian Glenn, Joshua Rex, Raz, Rob Smith.
Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of the Clutch of Personalities. I am contractually obligated to say we have Steve Van Samson on the show tonight, as well as Derek Rook.
Where is he? There he is.
Right down there. We're going Rough House again tonight, guys.
Who is that?
That is that guy.
Some
handsome fella down there.
He's the fourth host of this show, or the second host of this show.
Second host. Ratatosker.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking like who's Derek Rook, and I was like, oh.
No,
you
that
should
only happens
know
when I stroke out. That's only twice a year, whether I want it or not. You know.
No, this is Ratatosker. He is my alcoholic Norse mythological emotional support squirrel puppet.
Well, that's more of an emotional support than the rest of us here on the podcast have. So that's great.
I just like that he knows he's a puppet. Like that's my favorite part of Ratatosker.
Yeah. Oh, he's totally. Don't tell Drew though, because he doesn't seem to realize that Ratatosker's a puppet.
Fair enough.
It okay. Freaks him out. Like,
is it kind of like a Snuffleupagus scenario where
yes,
he's real to you, but not to everybody else?
No, he's real to Drew, but
he's real to Drew.
We all know he's a puppet. Yeah.
Else.
Yeah, because I've gotten pretty good at like having him look at people and reacting and stuff, and Drew's just like, "What the fuck is with the puppet?"
Stop.
Well, I know that he's going to be the one to ask the difficult hardball questions tonight. So,
he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk.
He talks through you.
Yeah, he expresses through me. But
who is the puppet and who is the master?
That's right.
We don't always know that. It depends on who's drinking more that night. And tonight he's got his new Amsterdam gin. That whenever people ask bad questions or make him go, oh God, I have to like give him shots and he gets all, But okay, so guys, this is so awesome. We have on the Rough House Publishing folks. We are talking tonight about Gore Shriek Ressurectus Volume 3. And okay, I'm gonna share. See what this is what we got going on here.
Naughty bits.
I love this. I'm sad that it's like the last one, but I'm super excited about it. We're going to go through everything. While we get started, though, do you guys want to explain for people who might not know, because I have, we have all different viewers and stuff, what everything is that led up to this and what Gore Shriek was, what it meant to you, and why you guys brought it back around with Rough House?
Sure, no problem. So Gore Shriek as a comic book was part of the boom of 1980s black and white comics, kind of like in the advent of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was a bunch of these that flooded comic book shelves back in those days, and Gore Shriek was part of like the 18 plus horror comics that were stuff that they didn't want your parents to have you have, but you'd somehow go in there by yourself and ask the store clerk to get it off the back shelf, and real fun stuff. It lasted for a relatively short amount of time as far as comic book runs are concerned, but it left an indelible mark on the independent comic book industry. It was originally published by Fantico Enterprises, which was owned and is still owned by Tom Schoolin. He's also the Gore Shriek creator. And at a certain point in the early 90s, Fantico and, well, a little bit later on with Fantico, but Gore Shriek as a property became defunct. And when we started Rough House back in 2011, it was an opportunity for us to basically publish our own independent comics. That was the idea of the company from the start. And then, you start getting different offers and different ideas for different things. And, the kind of the go-to for small independent publishers, if you're going to do licensed properties, is to do movie adaptions. Especially now, you see almost everybody doing it. But there was a time when that used to be a special thing on its own. It didn't happen that often. Certainly not as often, and certainly not with anything that wasn't like an A-list blockbuster style book. Marvel and DC always did it for, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. But for small indie publishers to do horror comics that, from a horror movie that came from Italy in the 1980s, it wasn't a big thing back then, not like it is today. But we wanted to do something a little different. We thought it would be fun to kind of resurrect old comic book properties that were long defunct, and perhaps even the publishing company that went with it. And that's where Gore Shriek Ressurectus came. The name Ressurectus was play on words that we were resurrecting the title for the 30th anniversary of the series. And we did 2 volumes of that. The last volume was 2019 already. And Steve and I published a couple more books in the interim, Mark of the Witchworm and Black Honey. And for a while, there wasn't going to be a Ressurectus 3. It was always intended to be 2 books, and they were supposed to come out in the same year, like one in the spring and one in the fall. That was always the idea. And there's a million different reasons why that didn't happen. But once we were done with the second book, there was something that just felt unfinished. I don't know how to describe it. There was a lot of obstacles to overcome when we were working on that second book. It got to a point where it was almost like Final Destination. It was almost like there was an entity that was physically stopping us, like from the celestial plane, from finishing that book. And
let's just call him Jeff.
Yeah, his name was Jay.
Yeah, his name is Jeff.
And when it finally came out, we're all very, very proud of both of the books. But as a comic book artist, I got into this and I started a publishing company to actually do comic book art. And I pushed myself right out of that issue. So I wasn't part of the covers. I was hardly part of any of the interior art, minus 2 small stories. And I think that's probably where some of that unfinished business came from, because there was a lot that I wanted to contribute that I didn't get a chance to contribute. And I had a couple long conversations with Tom. A lot of things have happened to all of us, the Rough House family, not just Steve and I, but the Rough House family adjacent. And I don't know, it just seemed like we wanted to go out on a higher note. We wanted to really put together the book that I wanted to really see. Before we got on here tonight, we were talking about fanzines, and the charm that those fanzines have. They have such a unique stamp that's all of their own, and we really wanted to impress that upon this new issue, and I really, really think we did that. I'm proud of all of the books that we've done, no matter what it is, but this in particular issue of Gore Shriek Ressurectus is by far, I think, our best work collectively. I think we all hit our stride, and I think people are really going to get something super special this time around.
Awesome. I'm excited to see more of your artwork too. So
thank you. Me too. As it turns out, we're gonna actually have some Derek in his Derek book.
Derek in the Derek book.
So, what do you know about that? Look, Mom, a comic book artist.
Yeah, and you guys have no idea. Like, oh my God, the art in this book is so insane. Derek, and also this stable of amazing artists that we've gotten to work with us, and I mean it really is just the best looking book. It's really insane. I think it's definitely going to blow people away, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through and pull up some of the pics and stuff. I got these all in order, and I got the little thing to read, so you guys can correct me if I get anything wrong here. But okay, I gotta. Sorry, I'm not like Leo has this ability. He has multiple screens, and so he can have like, oh, I'll have this, and this up, and I'm just like, I got a laptop, I got one screen. I'm trying to do it all.
You're doing amazing. You're doing amazing.
Well, thank you. All right. So this was the announcement that came out, and this is you're going to be sitting with me. You're going to be clicking over and over and over on March 6th to get into the line to try to get the first of the editions. Now this is cover A, right?
That's cover B. Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh, I can't read. Look, cover B. There we go.
It's good I did that.
You did that. That was good.
Wait till I get into the real serious dad jokes. You're really gonna roll your eyes and groan.
They're gonna sell the books. That's what they're gonna do.
All right. Here's your cover A.
And I think it's a nice family friendly cover.
Got the kids involved,
Well, when they said make an all ages cover, I think I covered that. I think there's multiple ages presented in this
Yeah, you got a range there.
Absolutely.
I think so.
And this is the back cover. I hadn't seen this before. So that
Are you familiar with the Iron Maiden album cover that this is spoofed off of? Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking, I'm like, they did Iron Maiden.
Yeah. So,
I would have noticed it if it was in the pictures. So that's why I was like, what is this one? I didn't see it in any of the other stuff.
So Gore and Shriek are the mascots, much like the mascot that's sitting next to you tonight. They are the mascots of the Gore Shriek series. And Gore is the big ogre guy. And he usually never talks. And he like you, has a puppet that does all the talking by the name of Shriek. And we thought we'd do a cool send up of, them going to hell, basically, that they've died off. I don't think you've seen the artwork that starts the book, but they start off being murdered. And then on the back cover, they've ascended to hell, or descended, if you prefer. So the idea was the motto of Gore Shriek was always shriek and shriek again. That was one of the mottos that you saw in the back of the issues. So now it says shriek and shriek no more. So it's like this ominous last hurrah for these two gents as you
get one last shriek, and then
one last shriek,
and then you shriek no more.
Okay, and what I have going on here also that you don't know about, besides the emotional support hand puppet, I also have got a head named Rodney, who's suspended on chains from one of those little plant hooks on my ceiling. So, yeah, but one of his hooks broke. Like he has multiple ones on the back of his head, so he's like looking up at the ceiling all the time now because I'm too short to reach him to like reattach the thing. So,
I see.
See, learning more things about me, I have more in common with the comic book than I thought I did.
Hopefully you have a lower half, though.
I do. I'm happy about
handy.
that.
That's
yeah,
handy.
I can wear pants. It's great.
But yeah, this I love this so much. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is the Iron Maiden cover. If for those who don't know or who think like maybe it looks familiar, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. That's the one with Can I Play with Madness? You might remember. It's one of my favorite covers, and Derek's like, "Hey, I think I want to do a Seventh Son like pin up," and I'm like, "You're kidding? Like, are you insane? Like, really? Like, that's the greatest thing ever." This album just doesn't get love, That's not one of the ones that like people really talk about anymore.
Too bad too, because it's one of my favorites.
So fun. Yeah, no, it was always one of my favorites. And
I don't know.
Used to, yeah. Shriek and shriek no more, guys. This is it. Get pumped.
This is it. Do it. Oh.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get pumped, these are the guys to get pumped with. All right.
Yeah.
So this is what I am going to be like. Click, 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 click. I'm going to get this. I am going to be like trying to get number one on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. So the first thing that we have that's coming out here is the Ultimate Edition. There are only 50 of these guys. So you gotta be ready for it. You gotta be excited. You gotta be getting ready. In this, I'm gonna just read off what we have in the list from the website. Exclusive to this offer are these. I'll tell you when it's done being exclusive. 2 copies of Gore Shriek Ressurectus Volume 3, covers A and B, signed by series creator Tom Scullin. A personalized to you death certificate with unique cause of death, signed by series creator Dr. Tom Scullin. A package of 7 oversized 6x9 collectible cards. Stray short film with extras on Blu-ray. And a Rough House signature hot sauce, 6.7 ounces. Now I have the black honey. I have 2 of those, and I know the black honey sauce is good. We will revisit this as soon as I'm done reading off the rest of the stuff here. Those are all the exclusive to the Ultimate Edition. What you also get though is a reversible slipcover numbered out of 1,000 copies, art by Derek Rook. You get a double-sided centerfold poster stapled into the comic book, art by the Gertch. Official Gore Shriek medical grade barf bag with art by the Gertch. Gore Shriek Ressurectus 3 ravenous double-sided guitar pick. That's pretty cool. The Balloon Gazette, a 4-page tabloid newspaper by Mr. Steve Van Samson. A double-sided postcard art by the Gertch. Gore Shriek Ressurectus 3 11x17 movie poster art by Jeff Zarnow. And 3 stickers, one of which is exclusive to this offer. So tell us about the hot sauce, guys.
Steve, you want to go first on this one?
Sure. So same company who did our black honey sauce, Silk City hot sauce. Very good friends with the crafter of said hot sauce, Mr. Jeff Levine of Silk City hot sauce. Great dude. And he makes really great sauces. So we decided that this was the last thing that we kind of added before we went live with everything with the press kit and stuff. That this wasn't necessarily planned 2 months ago. We kind of figured this out last second, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a hot sauce, because we've been meaning to release more hot sauces with him anyway, and the time keeps not being right. But this was kind of like not the planned time, and like, hey, let's just do it. We knew we wanted a super ridiculously incredibly hot sauce. It was going to be like 10 times hotter than Black Honey was. And, you know, make you feel sorry about your life decisions and, you know, question everything. And, you know, you can see colors and I mean, you can hear colors and see numbers. I don't know. You can always see numbers, but you know what I'm saying? Just, it makes you like touch the face of God. You're like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, this is going to be that. So this is going to be as tasty as humanly possible, but also, you know, maybe make you want to die. So if you really, really like super, super hot sauces, this is your sauce. Or you could just like, you know, keep it in your pocket while you're out jogging at night, and you can just flick it at passerbys, and then their skin melts off. And that's also good. That's good for you. So you should have a bottle, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
And you know how you get that bottle? You order the Ultimate Edition.
That's right.
That's what you do.
What's interesting about the whole thing, like Steve was saying, is that we wanted to do this hot sauce idea has been gestating now for a long time. Well before Black Honey even came out. We wanted to do at least 2 or 3 different flavors of hot sauce. And the idea was always to have kind of like a mild, a medium, and a signature brand hot sauce, like a very hot sauce, which is what the Rough House hot sauce is. Jeff, we met at a convention. He's the owner, Jeff Levine. He's the owner of Silk City, and when we're out there, every once in a while, we meet these hyper passionate, really talented at their craft type of people. You meet all sorts out on the road. But after a while, you really get an eye and an ear for those that are bringing something extra special to the table. Steve and I both agree that Silk City makes some of the best hot sauces, period. It has nothing to do with our partnership, except for the fact that it's because of all that we decided to even come up with these ideas and go with Jeff to make them a reality. Jeff is more passionate than anybody else in the room. If he was here tonight, there'd be flares going off, there'd be bombs in the background, that like a Kiss show, which he is a giant fan of. But his passions for hot sauce are like nothing I've ever seen. And much like us, he's very much a boutique company. He does almost everything himself. He has a small group of people that he works with to make it possible. But he is the brainchild behind Silk City and all of his different flavors of hot sauce, many of which that Steve and I had a chance to try. Jeff gave us both care packages in the beginning with all sorts of different sauces that he had at the time. And they were just fantastic. So it's not like we just put our label on something that already existed. A lot of times you see that with like soda bottling companies where they have their 10 flavors and then you...
Or beer.
And beer, definitely with beer too. We had these very long, very detailed conversations about how flavorful we wanted them to be, what types of hot sauces, because there's a million different types, what it's going to be based on. Steve very passionately described how hot the Rough House hot sauce is going to be. However, we did want to make sure that it was hyper flavorful, that this wasn't just as Steve would say in past hot sauces that I've tried, is that it's not just pain. It's there's actually going to be a very robust Caribbean style flavor to it that, in spite of the hotness, you're going to want to fight through to get to that flavor. So we want to also create something that's addictive, like, crack cocaine.
Yeah, and unlike crack cocaine, this one's going to have pineapple in it. Because that's the thing with Jeff is he finds these like ingredients that you might not necessarily expect. Now pineapple, like I've seen a few sauces over the last 10 years or something. It's not common, but man, he is really, really that craft guy that's always looking for the weird ingredient. One of his sauces has fig in it, and it's just so unexpectedly delicious. And he always just finds the way to do it because he's cooking everything too. And man, yeah, I can't wait to try this new one. It's gonna be awesome because I mean, Jesus, I probably have 25 bottles of hot sauce. I buy like 5 or 6 from him every time I see him. Over the years, like I haven't even gotten to half of them. Like there's just so many I have. I just keep buying them. But he's great. Yeah, we're big. We would be fans regardless. Like even if we weren't partnering with him, he really is a great dude, and he makes great sauce for sure.
Absolutely.
His website's awesome. And you're right. He is one of the most enthusiastic people I have seen. I've followed him on YouTube and seen him start doing his like stuff,
Yeah.
and he is really excited about hot sauce.
Yeah.
But I love the energy behind it. So, okay, quick question: does it have mangoes in it?
Not this one.
Not this one.
Cool.
Not yet. I don't know. He did talk about all sorts of things being in it, like pineapple, carrots, crushed.
Carrots are good.
I think there was 3 or 4 different types of pepper that he wanted to use, and extracts, because again, this is going to be a rival hot sauce to rival some of the others out there. But I'm just at this stage of the game, I think we're all kind of in anticipation as to what this is really going to taste like. What's fun is when Jeff gives us a call and says, hey, I'm in Vermont right now. I got my first batch of, like when it was black honey, he's like, we got our first batch of black honey back. Do you want to come and get them? And we just literally same night, we just got in the car and just drove all the way to his house. Was like 2-3 hours away anyway. And there he was, and he has his old thing set up in his basement with all his bottling things. And he's and interestingly enough, he's an avid comic book collector as well, comic books and magazines from all different eras. And like if it was just, you put a neon sign outside and did a couple other affectations on the inside, it could literally be its own, comic book /
store. Yeah.
Store, kind of
seriously.
thing.
He has enough.
Hot sauce.
He could talk to you guys and maybe set up doing some like little mini comics to go with each hot sauce. Like they each have their own little.
Funny you should say that.
Funny you should say that. So the reason that you don't have the Rough House hot sauce yet is all my fault. At the end of it all, in true Rough House fashion, we wanted to package a 3-pack of hot sauce in a box in its own packaging and everything else, and put 1 of 3 mini comics in each one. So until you opened it up, you wouldn't know which of the 3 you got. But it would be a new mini comic for Mark of the Witchworm for Black Honey, and we have a mascot that goes with the Rough House sauce. So the label that you see is actually not the label that's going to be on it. That's actually and we're going to talk more about this as we go through everything, but we wanted this project in general to be very art centric. So less graphic design, more actual physical artwork. And that's going to be its own comic book too, its own mini book. So that turned out to be a project that's just going to take a lot longer than we expected, because we want things to be a certain way and to find the right packager and the right price. And it is a lot of moving parts because we're not in charge of it all. And then we were doing this tier, this ultimate edition for Gore Shriek 3. And like Steve said, at the very last minute, I'm like, well, we sampled Black Honey with our last book, so why not sample how this is going to go over with this one? And then down the road, after these come out one at a time, maybe we can do a collected edition hot sauce thing.
And guys, Black Honey hot sauce is delicious.
It's one of my favorites.
It is so good, and you can put it on like anything.
It's a staple when I have it in stock. It's a staple of every breakfast anything that involves eggs, any kind of breakfast food.
Eggs, chili. It's really good in chili.
Oh yeah.
That sounds what I'm gonna have to do with this one, because depending on it, like I have a capsaicin thing now that I can't eat like a whole lot of jalapeno. I can eat like I can do Thai food and stuff like that. It's I think it depends on how the peppers are prepared or something, to where like I used to be the spicy one, and now Mom's like, I have my shrimp Diablo. I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop tasting it for 3 days, And so I've had to go lighter, but if it has all the flavor, I can just put a little bit into my big stuff.
This is a
That's
one
just
drop in another type of sauce, like a spaghetti sauce, perhaps, or a chili, like you said.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because black honey is less
Okay.
hot. So I actually really like hot sauce on my eggs as well. That's my main place that I put it, honestly. Absolutely on, eggs. Every egg I have has to have one of the billion hot sauces in my house on it. And burgers. I love burgers with hot sauce, like absolutely. It's fun to experiment with. And if you know somebody like Silk City who's putting out like really crazy flavor profiles, it's nice having this like array of different ones and stuff. You can just try different stuff every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how. Hey Stefan, how's it going, man? Thanks for swinging by. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm so excited about this. Like, you guys just keep it like coming up with new stuff to make me like stick with the Rough House thing. I would be wearing my shirt tonight, but it's in my laundry. But I do have a different Steve Van Samson shirt on. So
What shirt is that?
this is the Odin.
Oh my god, that's so random, Carrie. You are a maniac. You have all my shit.
I do. I haven't gone out though and gotten the frogs. I like thought about that because you
Oh my
mentioned
God,
the
the
frogs, and
frogs.
I'm like, no, it's either a Kickstarter or a frog, and I have enough Steve Van Samson clothing at this point that
So I have a Redbubble shop that I opened like almost probably 20 years ago, and that Odin design is 20 years old, easy.
I love
And like it's just been there, and those frogs have been there for like 20 years. And yeah, it's just so funny. You are so funny that you even found that. I don't even talk about it. It just exists. It's just there. Not Rough House related, not writing related at all. But thank you.
I have the Epor shirt as well. That one's fun.
The Shadowgate one, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, you wore that the last time I was on Splash Pages. You wore that, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I have a Steve Van Samson shirt for every day of the week.
Every day of the week. That's what everybody should have. Come on.
He should go to his Redbubble, man. It's fun. Follow him. Get his clothes.
Well, I'm hoping we get some Gore Shriek clothes. We talked about it. I don't know if we're gonna have anything for a launch or not, but man, that's what I'm hoping to get. I want to wear some Gore Shriek shirts. What do you say?
If we do, you'll definitely see them. You probably won't see them on our website. You probably won't see them as part of the different packages that we offer. But if you catch us on the road, there's a much better chance that those will be part of our repertoire at a certain point.
Rock on.
You got to come out and see us. Say hey. Get some in-person cigs. Some free horns.
Yeah.
It's
definitely two different experiences. Our online experience is very much for the collectors. That's why we put these packages together, so collectors really get, like we said in the past, the last time we were all together, we always want to give our folks more for their money, much more than they were expecting with any normal purchase that they usually get. When they're doing any kind of online ordering or any kind of, this isn't a Kickstarter, but this is a pre-order. We want to build that anticipation for all this fun stuff that you're going to get when you get to open that package for the very first time. So there's that whole thing. And once that dies down and we hit the road and we start doing some of these conventions, that's where you get all of the brand new fans. There's always crossover. There's always people that know us already that come and see us and everything else. But a lot of new fans at those shows. And that's where we usually have stuff at the table that we don't have anywhere else. We did a bunch of Rough House shirts at a couple of our other shows recently that did very well. And again, depending on what other licenses that we get, those things will be there with us as well. And we do prints and other things too.
But you can also see our beautiful faces.
Yeah, and then of course you get us too, which is fun for anybody.
Only $50 a selfie. I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah, that's us paying you.
Oh my God. I'm
So
looking
I
at
have to save up. In order to get a selfie with you guys, we have to sell at least 5 comics a piece. Bitch.
Pretty much.
But you guys are worth every penny.
Yeah, I love, that's my favorite part of doing this, honestly, is like just meeting all the new people at shows, and even and the new people and the old people are friends, old and new. And every single show we do, we make new friends and new fans, and it's just so freaking endlessly awesome and endlessly fun. And you know, it's cool just being around like-minded people anyway, you know, like, you know, selling or not, it's just so great to just be around. It just feels good, you know, to just be around people who are all into the same crap and everything. And just you know, I'm excited to get back into doing shows for this year. And our first show is right around the corner, actually, as it turns out. We're going to be at the Dead of Winter, and that is the second Dead of Winter. And Derek, that's next
Mechanics
week?
Hall in Worcester next Saturday.
Next week.
So I think that's the 20s. Is it the 22nd? I don't have it up right now, but
I don't have it up either.
But it's next Saturday
yeah.
and Sunday at Mechanics Hall in Worcester, which is right on Main Street in Worcester. It's a great convention. It's definitely a mixture of your typical horror convention and a film festival type atmosphere.
Yep.
The people that are running it are all people that have been vendors at other events that we've done. Again, all people that have their heart and their thumbs on the pulse. They're really doing something special, and they're doing it at a time and in a place where it doesn't normally happen. Like usually the convention season picks up around, these days there's one every weekend almost, but it really starts to pick up towards the middle of summer, and then into the fall is the busiest times. And then usually around January, February, that's where everyone's breaking, you know. So the fact that we get a really cool convention smack dab in the middle of the winter in Worcester, which is our home base, it's just really, really cool. And it brings a lot of amazing commerce to the community, to the city. They had a great turnout last year for something that they put together rather quickly. So this is double the size in terms of the events that they have going on and the vendors that they have present. And they had a whole year to prep it and get it ready for everybody. So we're just as excited as everybody else to see how amazing it's going to be. But yeah, it's going to be cool.
It looks huge. I'm on their group, so I keep seeing all the stuff going up, and it's like, I need to spend a year just living on the East Coast because you guys have all the best shit there.
We're very much Halloween aficionados in this side of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, for those who don't know, we are in Massachusetts, so it is Worcester, Massachusetts. It's the town that doesn't look like it's pronounced Worcester.
No, and I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I got it wrong because I thought it was Worcester. Somebody had told me wrong, and they were like, no.
Just as good a chance as anybody else who's tried to say it who's not from here.
Yeah,
if you're not from Massachusetts, don't even try pronouncing the town. So you're just going to look foolish. And really, it's our fault. It's not your fault. It's our fault.
Yeah, Lester is spelled Lester, and I'll be damned if it's spelled that way on a sign. It's just not. So Worcester, you know.
I'm from Hooper, and it's Hooper. So it's Hooper, and no, it's Hooper. You know, so I get you a little bit there.
Yeah, we have a town Woburn, but it's spelled Woburn. Like there's only one O, so I don't know why anybody decided to call it Woo. We're just trolling everybody. That's really all we do it. That's why we're massholes. I mean, it's part of the whole part and parcel. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like Stefan's asking when we're going to be in Texas.
Oh,
Derek.
Shoot.
When are we going to be in Texas?
So we've been on a waiting list for Texas Frightmare, Stefan, for about 3 years. When we finally got the go-ahead to go, I could not make it. There was some things going on at the time that just prohibited me from going anywhere. So providing that show is still available for us to do, every year is different, but it's still not too late for this year. So we'll see. I think Texas Frightmare happens in summertime, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll have to check into it, but we'll see. I take it Stefan's from some Texas somewhere. Well, fucked.
Well, fuck.
Well,
Oh,
shit.
come on, Stefan.
There you go.
So Derek, Stefan is the publisher who did those couple of books that we've had on our table in the past, the More Lore from the Mythos books 1 and 2.
Oh yes.
And Carrie is in those as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow! All right, cool. It's funny how like the through attrition, all of these different personalities and talented people come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because More Lore was up before I met you, Steve. At least one of them.
Yes,
or
both of them were. Yeah.
both of them were. Yeah. So really cool. Just like that time I took a picture with Trisha and you were like, "This is so bizarre that you remember that convention?"
Yeah, there was one show I couldn't go to, and you sent me a picture with mutual friend Trisha Wooldridge.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that was like so funny that that was great. I love that picture.
Dallas. I visited Dallas one time, and then I went down to Austin, and Dallas seemed really awesome. I wish I had more time to spend there. It was a business trip, but who knows? Maybe next time. I'm not sure where Texas Frightmare is held, but if it's Dallas, or I would imagine it's going to be Dallas, Houston, or Austin, but we'll see.
Say what? Up for a what? More Lore. You were saying it was up for something. What was it up for? What were they up for? The books?
No. So Derek said that was out before I met him.
Those books were
Out.
out before I met Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think he thought that
It's not up for a major award, Stefan. Calm down. You're not getting a leg lamp out of us, okay?
you would have known.
You can get your electric sex somewhere else, okay, buddy?
And Jeff Levine is on Brook City Hot Sauce, so he's joining us tonight. Josh Tate from Halitosis is on tonight as well, saying hello to us. And he's actually part of one of the other extras that is available for, so we're literally bringing the family together for this last issue. So if I may, we partnered with Silk City for the hot sauce, but we also partnered with Fatfoot Films for the short film Stray. That's going to be the extra for the Ultimate Edition. Stray is a movie that at the time that it premiered, and I've known Ryan Convery, who's the director and he's the owner of Fatfoot Films. I've known him for a very long time, and I've known Josh Tate for a long time now as well. And they premiered this short film right before COVID. It was, as a matter of fact, Josh Tate and we took a ride out to the premiere, which was in Cape Cod. And I remember when we were getting ready to go in, there was like a social before we went in to actually watch the movie. And everybody was talking about the world shutting down. So it was this weird melancholia moment. If you saw the beginning of that movie where everyone's kind of talking about this impending doom, but half the people weren't taking it seriously and other people were really concerned about it. And of course it was the COVID shutdowns. And we were there for that premiere. We saw the movie. We all went home that night, and by weekend's end, we were done, and we were going to be done for a long time. So I thought the short film was excellent. I've had the privilege of watching these guys and some of the other things that they've filmed. At this point, I'm pretty sure I'm caught up, but they've done so much awesome stuff. And again, when you know you're dealing with special people out of the bunch, we know a lot of filmmakers, we know a lot of writers, a lot of everything. But every once in a while, you got those special people that just stick out. And Fatfoot and Ryan and all of the people that he's associated with are those guys. Their films are just fantastic. And Stray, for my money, is my opinion, the best of all of them. And it's a horror movie. It's a short film, and I was very inspired to do like something with it. I didn't want to necessarily do an adaptation of it, but I was very, very inspired by it in general. So, long story short, the story that's in one of the stories that's in Gore Shriek Ressurectus 3 is called The Devil Who Strayed, and it's a prequel to Stray. So if you get the book and you see the story that's inside there, a very, 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 very minor character that Josh Tate plays in Stray is the main character in this story. It's more like a sidequel than a prequel. It's almost like another story happening in the same universe, if you will. Not to give too much away, but we thought it would be a fun cross promotion again, because Stray didn't really get to move through the circuit like it would have if COVID didn't happen. So we're offering it as an extra, and it's going to be a real DVD. It's going to have the whole short film in it. Fatfoot always does a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, so you're going to have special features in there. It's also going to have The Devil Who Strayed in the as soon as you open it up, there'll be a little booklet that has The Devil Who Strayed in it as a color version of the story, and then whatever else they want to put in there. So it's a cool cross promotion thing that even after we're done with Gore Shriek Ressurectus, that will live with the Stray franchise from that point forward, which is really, really cool.
Nice. And Jeff, you did miss. We had a long conversation actually about the hot sauce. So everybody go check out Silk City Hot Sauce. You can find them on Facebook. I don't know all the other socials, but you can find the YouTube channel and just go and actually look at their website. I'm sure they probably have all of the links there. But Jeff, you are the most enthusiastic hot sauce person I have ever seen. And I love the energy and I love the hot sauce. So, yeah.
And we did not pay her to say that, Jeff.
No. Oh my God. I bought 2 ultimate editions of Black Honey, another unsavory, because I needed the hot sauce.
The hot sauce is very savory.
It's extremely savory.
It's good. Oh, it's so good. Stephanie, what Scoville rating is it?
Nobody knows Scoville. Scoville's a scam. It doesn't exist. Nobody. If you try to find Scovilles for any hot sauce today, like, good luck. Nobody prints it anymore. I am convinced it was bullshit from like the mid 2000s. Like, everybody was so obsessed with like, what's the Scoville rating? And sometimes you'd find one and be like, oh, this is like a million. And you're like, well, is that mathematically possible without burning my face up? You know, I don't know. I think the Scoville rating is not really recognized anymore. But we don't know for sure. For sure, I have no. Jeff doesn't know.
It's got high pH levels. Let's just leave it at that.
It's going to be a weapon in a
Yes.
MMORPG at some point in time.
Yes, flick it at passersby if they're threatening. Like, not just any passerby. Like, that's just not cool.
Yeah.
But if they're like, you know, coming at you, and you know, like they're showing you their hands or something, you know, just give a couple flicks of that stuff.
We'll do a double-sided t-shirt, Steve. It'll be Roughhouse on the front, and it'll say "Chuck a pepper on your predator" on the back.
Flick to freedom.
Flick to freedom, baby.
Yeah.
You're saying that's like my mother is
it's the accent, isn't it? It's always the accent.
No, she's this super professional woman, but when she gets behind the wheel of a car, oh my God, everything goes to hell. And in my neighborhood, there's like a school, like right a block away from me, and it's for road ragers. Yeah. So, and there's some little kids that live around here, but she was picking me up, and we're the only people on my side of the road that have a driveway. So she's trying to back out, and there are all these little kids on their bicycles. And so I'm like, kids, can you guys like, talking to him like, mom wants to back out. Can you guys just back out of the way and then make sure that we're clear? And then we'll, you can go ahead and get in the middle of the street again, I guess, if that's what you really want to do. And so most of the kids are really nice. And she starts backing out. And then this one little shit who's like maybe 8 years old is like aiming his bike at mom's SUV and like riding straight towards her and giving her this total sneer. And she just flips him off. And this kid just like, fuck you. This little kid's like, grown-ups can't do that to kids. What?
Oh,
this kid's face was priceless. His little face was just like, went from being like all sneered to just like in shock and awe. I was just like, go mom. And she's like, little fuckers. But oh, you did hear it. Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna go on to we've been talking. I want to go on and show the rest of the tiers that are going to be available for this.
Absolutely.
So okay, so this is the next one, and this there are only 20 of, and so you get to choose. This is the original sketch card edition.
Yes,
and you can specify which cover, A or B, upon purchase. If it is not chosen, you will be getting cover A. All of the extra content associated with the front cover, A or B, that you choose, you'll see those in a little bit. And then an original sketch drawn on reversible slipcover that is a separate item from the book. And so this is something that, okay, I'm going to have to get both of these, right? So that I can get the sketch cover and the Ultimate Edition. Because the sketch cover doesn't come with the Ultimate, right?
Unfortunately, it doesn't. The reason for that is twofold. Number one, I didn't want to drive up the price of the Ultimate Edition anymore. We're already asking for what we're asking for, and you do get a lot of stuff, but I wanted the sketch card edition to be special, number one. And number two, the sketch cards do take longer to do. Like they're not pre-drawn, just sitting there waiting for somebody to order one. I draw them specifically for the individual. And I can't stress enough that this issue in particular, we really wanted to be art-centric. The slipcover, the double-sided slipcover, you can see a small version of it in the picture that you posted with the kid reaching for the candy. That was drawn by me, colored by Jeff Zorno. Jeff Zorno, by the way, who's also an artist, did the coloring for pretty much everything you see so far. So both front covers, the back cover, the Seventh Son back cover, the slip cover, that's all Jeff's colors in there. He did an amazing job. He's an insane professional. So having a sketch card cover was really fun because you get literally a piece of art on one side and a piece of art on the other side. And if you noticed, Delphine, that we did a lot of stuff, especially for the Ultimate Edition, that's personalized to the individual. And I know we're jumping around a little bit. We didn't even get through all of the special stuff that people get in the Ultimate Edition, but
I have it all listed out later so we can go through each item too. So.
Oh, sure. But you notice that a lot of it is personalized to you. It's signed by Tom Schoolin. Tom is the godfather of this entire thing. We wouldn't be able to do this if not for him. Tom is the proudest dad that I've ever met in my life. And I've met a lot of dads who actually have children. And his child is Gore Shriek. And he's so involved and so present for everything that we want to present to everybody. He's always on board. He's the biggest cheerleader for everything that we've done. And I wanted people to have something special from him as well. So that's where the death certificate comes from. So the death certificate, again, originally it was going to be a certificate, like a kind of like a drawn version of a death certificate. And then we're like, well, why don't we make it an illustration so that we have an excuse for people to have yet another illustration. And then the certificate itself. And I almost didn't want to post it because that's just the pencils. It's not finished yet. It will be in full color, but it will look a lot different than what it looks like right now. But essentially, it'll be the name of the individual that bought it. We're going to come up with a really funny, goofy, probably profane way that you died. And then it's going to be signed by Dr. Tom Schooling. So a little nice keepsake for the true fans, because let's face it, those are the people that are buying the Ultimate Edition in the first place.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there were some people that did say that they were a little disappointed that a sketch wasn't coming with the Ultimate Edition too. That would have meant that I was going to have to do 70 original sketches, and realistically, it would have been a long time before people were getting their packages, and I didn't want that to happen because, again, I'm doing them one at a time as people are buying them, and it wouldn't have been fair to the people that were waiting as long as they've waited up to this point in the first place. And I have to just kind of interrupt myself for a second, and I thought it was very funny that every time, Delphine, you nod your head, your puppet nods its head as well. Like
Sometimes he does the nodding for me, but yeah.
It hasn't missed a trick this whole night, but I digress. So 20 offers for the sketch card cover, and wanted to keep it its own thing in case people weren't interested in all the other stuff.
And I mean, that's fair. We were talking before the show. I just realized, because somebody brought it up on a different show that I was watching, that over the past 2 years, I have funded 41 Kickstarters, a couple more backer kits and Zoops, and then various first editions, numbered editions, lettered editions, things like that. And first of all, you guys are always the most bang for the buck. I mean, like, I do all these, but a couple of the different Kickstarters that I do, I have gotten an original artwork piece, like a headshot or something. And even when they're offering like 5 total for the whole kit and caboodle, it takes months for them to get art out, because people, you have your real life going on too, and all the projects that you're working on besides then, like, okay, I got this to do on top of it. And, it does take so much time, and I can't imagine trying to do 70. That would have been ridiculous.
And they're not really sketches. I mean, we call it sketches because that's the industry term for it, but they're pretty much illustrations for the most part. Yeah. The only thing that makes them a little different than what I normally do when I do an illustration proper is I use one pen for the entire thing. It's lightly penciled, it's 90% inked, and it's done with one pen, where when I do a normal illustration, like I did for the covers, like I did for the Black Honey cover, it's definitely a multimedia piece. There's a lot of different things that go into that.
Yeah. You guys but if you haven't seen, go back and look in the Owlite playlists, and there's an unwrapped section, and I've unwrapped multiple things from Rough House Publishing, and every time it has been amazing. And I will be doing an unwrapping of this when it comes out. Yeah, it's just like, I'm like, look at this, oh my god, look at this. And
what's this?
It's magic in the air.
There it is.
It's funny because Steve and I talk all the time, obviously, when we're putting these things together. And when we get into those final stages, eventually you have to put out the pre-order. You can't keep it in anticipation forever. Eventually that has to happen. And then, usually you're still working on the project. So it becomes a question of, well, when is this finally going to hit the street? And I've always said that, we'll be forgiven if it's a little bit later than we said it was going to be, if the wow factor is there. The day the wow factor is gone, then any goodwill that we've garnered over the years will be thrown out. But and we try to keep in touch with our fans anyways and let them know what's up. But we're always making sure that everything is perfect. Like, we just want to make sure that you guys get that experience. When you guys get that black Stay Flat and you get to finally rip it open after all the tape and the stickers and crap that's on it that's keeping it shut is finally excavated, and you open that thing up and you turn it around and all that stuff dumps out, and then you're excited about all that stuff too. It isn't just a bunch of pamphlets that you want to 20% off things you want to throw away. Then it all becomes becomes forgiven. After a while, you don't remember that it took 6 months for the thing to happen. You just know that you got some awesome stuff, and that's all that matters.
But whenever I pick up one of those big black envelopes, I'm just so excited. I'm just like, and phrasing, I got it right this time. Are you proud of me, Steve?
Big black envelopes.
I'll tell you what, those things were a great find because I wanted to find some packaging that was affordable for us, that was signature to us, and those black stay flats are just amazing. And I mean, everything short of being bulletproof, those things, you could throw them down a flight of stairs, whatever. The stuff that's on the inside of those things are going to be just fine. And of course, I wrap it with bubble wrap and tape and all sorts of shit. So these things are less packaged and wrapped and more mummified. So that's good.
So if Ace Ventura is your delivery man, you're going to be okay. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah, I recycle them kind of. I'll have things, and when I get other comics that are packaged not as well, and I'm haven't gotten around to organizing things yet, there's extra room in it, so I'm like, okay, I can slip this in there, and it's not going to get messed up. Most people do like this kind of a thing, or I can't reach over, but the ones that fold over each other in cardboard. And that's great. And I got something delivered, and I'm not going to dump on the people who did it, but that they just sent it in mail in a manila envelope. And so it showed up bent, and it's not, fortunately it didn't crease the seam, but I have it being pressed now so that it kind of gets the slight bend out of it, because it was just shoved wonky in my mailbox. I'm just that's no good. But
that's what happens sometimes. I mean, I can't tell you how many things that were this big when I bought them that were squished to that big to get into my mailbox, which should never have gone in there to begin with. But
yeah, it's no, you got to put all the fragile, do not bend, all this stuff. Put a piece of cardboard in there at least. Some people, that's the easiest thing. They'll just bag and board and just stick it to a piece of cardboard. And I mean, that works, as long as you don't get it scratched or anything. But yeah. Okay. So I'm going to jump back in now. We got to go. Am I ready for the next one? Am I here? Okay.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Are you Delphine?
Yes. Oh, I just somehow made it go away. So we're going to.
So the answer is no. The answer's no.
The answer would be.
Wah wah.
Wah, 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 wah. Where'd we go? There we are. Okay, now I'm ready.
all right.
I'm ready. Okay, so this is the cover A edition. There are 450 copies of these. With this, you get one copy of Gore Shriek Ressurectus Volume 1 cover A signed, a reversible slipcover numbered out of 1,000 copies, art by Derek Rook, double-sided centerfold poster stapled in comic, art by the Gertch. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I wasn't goofing up.
Spelled the way it sounds.
All right. The official Gore Shriek medical grade barf bag with art by the Gertch. The Balloon, is it Balloon? Ballon Gazette tabloid newspaper written by Steve Van Samson, and you get 2 stickers with this one.
Yes.
And then basically you get exactly the same thing if you go with this, only you're getting the cover B. Although you aren't getting the exact same thing. Okay, I lied. You get Volume 3 cover B signed. You get the reversible slipcover. You get Gore Shriek Ressurectus 3 11x17 movie poster with art by Jeff Zornow. The double-sided Gore Shriek Ressurectus 3 Ravenous guitar pick. The double-sided postcard, art by the Gertch, and 2 stickers. Okay. So that's where I was wrong there. And now I'm just going to go through, and we've covered some of these, but let everybody get a big close-up on all of the different items that are coming out.
Yeah.
So this is all on the website, by the way, guys. I'm not giving away any spoilers here, which you should go check out and get ready to have bookmarked so that you can go to it.
Delphine, can we stop on this one for a second and talk about it a little bit?
Absolutely, we can.
Awesome.
I was hoping you would.
Yeah. So this is one of in my opinion, one of our most fun extras, because it's literally something that could have been within the pages, but it's almost like getting 4 extra pages of Gore Shriek Ressurectus 3. I'm going to give this to Steve because this is all his brainchild. He wrote the entire thing, put it all together. It's all his graphic design work. But one of my personal favorite print extras that we're offering this time around.
Yeah, this was really fun to do, and it's something we've talked about for a long time, where it's basically our tribute to, like, rag newspapers you would find in the supermarket, and like the National Enquirer and Weekly World News and that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of like the aesthetic of what we were going for. But as far as the content with all these stories, the idea was to reference stories that existed all throughout the history of Gore Shriek. So some of them are... So this cover story is the only actual original story. And this artwork is brand new from the Gurch. This dude with the splitting headache. And if you turn to the inside, you will get the full story on that. But the everything else around is a reference to a story that is either in a Gore Shriek Ressurectus book, could be one of the previous ones, could be issue number 3, or it's actually a classic Gore Shriek issue. So on the inside, this is actually 4 pages, so it's like front, back, and just an incredible amount of fun. Really, I really looked at the layout of existing like Weekly World News type things. So I was like trying to make it as authentic as I possibly could while, writing everything that, everything's original. But even if it's, a reference to whatever story, we're coming up with partial stories and whole stories. In some cases, just headlines. Sometimes it's like, turn to page 6, but there is no page 6 kind of a thing. So we're just having fun with it. And yeah, I mean, this was, this was a real blast to do. I'm really proud of how it came out. And the name, the Balin Gorzette, do you want to explain that, Derek?
Yeah, sure. So just real quick on that, there were some signature artists that were involved in Gore Shriek from the inception. So we wanted to pay tribute to some of these artists as we went through our series. Bruce Balding Fuller was the original Gore Shriek artist. He's the one responsible for the iconic front cover of Gore Shriek #1. Everybody knows what it is. It's a guy ripping his face off. Every metal band from the 80s, at one point or another, wore that shirt on stage. It just became part of the black and white independent comic book zeitgeist. And so we wanted to pay respects to his contributions. He came back to do a story in that first issue. He did one of the covers. In the second one, the Gurch was another big artist that was responsible for some of the most memorable issues of Gore Shriek, especially the volume 2. So we got the Gurch involved for the last issue and this issue. Gurch did both covers last time. Slew of the extras. Just an amazing human being to work with. And this time around, there was more than a couple to choose from. But for one reason or another, we chose the Gurch. I'm sorry, the Gurch. We chose Chaz Balin. Chaz Balin was part of the fanzine era of independent horror back in the 80s, especially. He was an artist, comic book artist. He was also a publisher. So he published a book called Deep Red, which was a magazine-style fanzine, basically. And he also did a book called The Gore Score. And these were all books that were heavily advertised in Fangoria magazine at the time, in the back section where you saw all different things. So The Gore Score was basically, it was horror movie reviews. And at the time, he had his finger on the pulse with all these horror movies that at the time we couldn't get in America. So he did American movies. He did very popular ones. He did very obscure ones. and he did ones that for whatever reason were banned and couldn't be seen in America. So he was I call him like one of the original horror influencers. Way before being an influencer was cool, and certainly way before social media and everything else. And unfortunately, Chaz passed away from cancer back in 2009, and we weren't able to get any new artwork from him or artwork that he had in his archives from his estate. It just wasn't possible. So the Balin Gorzette is our way of paying tribute to Chaz. The Gore and Gorzette is the stylings of how it appeared on the Gore Score magazine that he used to publish. And it's just unfortunate that we couldn't do more with his legacy, and maybe somewhere down the road if that's possible. But he had some amazing artwork all around, but he certainly, especially in the early days of Gore Shriek, was another integral artist in that pantheon of artists. So that's how we got him involved in this version of the project.
Very cool. And yes, the extras are worth the price of admission. Also, it looks like apparently you two should be afraid of the Mothman. So
That's true.
And that's in the story Ravenous, where the guitar pick comes from. That's available as an extra in the cover B offer.
Yeah, we got ourselves some heavy metal hunks here, guys. They gotta hide from Mothman.
That's right. That's right. And you'll get that full story inside Gore Shriek Ressurectus Volume 3, folks. Volume 3.
So next up, we have Stray. Did you have anything else to say about Stray? We kind of covered it.
It's 28 minutes long as a short film, and there's going to be probably another half hour or so worth of extras when it's released. And again, it'll have a color version of the story, The Devil Who Strayed, that's inside Gore Shriek Ressurectus Volume 3.
Very cool. We've covered the hot sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to move on to okay, we're going to get a better look now at the kid grabbing that you were saying. The candy. But here's where you're going to get your sketch card.
Yep, and those are all signed. Those are all numbered 1 out of 1,000. So that's supposed to be an honor bowl, and next to the honor bowl, there's a sign that says "Just Take," and then it's blank out of 1,000. So I'll be putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 1,000.
Oh wow, that's a really cool idea. I like that. It was at that moment that Jimmy knew he fucked up. That's awesome. All right, and here is the pick that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yep, this is all Steve as well.
All right, Steve.
And the skull and cross forks. That's that also appears in the story as drawn by Alex Sarabia, and it's the logo of the band. So it's the heavy metal hunk mentioned on the cover of the Gorzette. You will see what happens to him in this story. But that was just kind of a fun like tie-in thing where like, yeah, let's do a guitar pick. We haven't done that before, and we have this band and why not? Pretty fun.
This side, that side.
That side.
That kind of just cracks me up. All right, next we have the oversized 6x9 double-sided collectible cards.
These
and
are so
these, cool. Oh my gosh, those just look sexy.
Yeah, they're really cool.
As
very,
sexy
very
as Gore can be, but yeah, for some that's pretty damn sexy.
And that's actually the Bruce Spalding Fuller cover, right?
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And the color is really added to this one too. I mean, they really finished the piece. All the colors for all of these are done by Jeff Zorno once again. Regardless of who did the artwork on the cover, There's 7 of these, and they're all oversized 6x9s, and then so they're UV coated in the front, really, really beautiful looking, and on the back they're matte, and you can see what the backside looks like. They're very much like a playing card, like if you got a rookie baseball card or whatever. It talks about the artist. There's anecdotes about the artist individually, what the crux of the piece was all about, what issue of Gore Shriek it appeared in, all those types of small little stats and things.
Neat. And I love what you're saying with the colors, because this is so, definitely gory and horrendous. But then you look back here and it's like, oh, it's a lovely night out.
It's a lovely night for beheading, for sure.
It is.
Lovely night for a shovel head.
Yes.
Well, I mean, who doesn't love a shovel head? But
I
happy
put it
Valentine's Day.
I put it down as 7, but there's actually 8. There's a surprise card in the pack as well. So there's 7 that are kind of in succession with each other, and then there's a surprise separate 8th one that goes with everyone.
Nice. Prizies, guys. Prizies. Okay, now the centerfold poster.
Yes.
This side, that side.
This side, that side, with artwork by the Gurch. So when you open up when you get to the centerfold of the book, the piece of artwork that's on the right with the 4 heads is what you're going to see. The artwork on the other side is fashioned to look like. So there was a poster that came out in the 60s called Orgy of the Dead. And this artwork by the Gurch was fashioned to look like that poster, which was a triple feature poster. And instead of those movie titles, we have the Gore Shriek Ressurectus titles in there. Some of the artwork from the Gurch in the background. That little picture inset with that black byline, that's a picture of Tom being goofy, and it says something about him being, crazy after reading Gore Shriek Ressurectus. So, again, everything that we do has a flair for dark gallows humor, and it's always present in almost everything we do.
And we love paying homage to things. That's one of our big things. Both of us, we just love it so much. We love parody and paying homage to very specific, like maybe nobody else is going to get this, but we don't care things. Right. And this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, if
really,
it looks
really
cool anyways, in spite of all that, then maybe somebody will find out 5 years down the road that it's a parody of something else.
Right. And for the people who do know the original thing, they're going to be like, they're going to lose their mind. They're going to be like, oh my God.
Right.
And that's always the fun part,
Have the person approach you at a con that's just like, I just wonder, is this just me or?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, so vomit bag.
No comic book from Rough House is complete without one at this point. We've done a vomit bag with almost every comic book that we've done. We started off right from the beginning with our first book, The Dead. We didn't do it with Volume 1 because we wanted to keep the extras different from each other as much as we could, but everybody loved the barf bag so much. Like, they got such a kick out of it. It's funny, like if you go to any crowd where we're doing a pitch and we're telling them what the list of extras are, we get, buy this comic book, it's signed and it's numbered. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, and it comes with a poster and it comes with a guitar pick. Oh, that's cool. And it comes with a newspaper. That's cool. And it comes with a monogram barf bag. And then everybody starts to laugh, and everybody that's the rib tickler, So if everybody is going to dig it that much, then everybody should have one. And they're real barf bags too. They're not like little lunch bags with a sticker on it. They're medically approved for that kind of activity.
And they're sexy.
And they're sexy as hell.
Activity.
See, I have a story that I wrote that is about a haunted ride in an arcade thing, and part of the experience, it's all virtual reality, augmented reality, whatever, you get locked in the whole thing. And it came with a free adult diaper with the logo of the arcade on it.
That is an amazing idea. I think
I'm just
maybe we
saying.
can steal that down the road.
So there you go.
I don't know if my printer can print on diapers, but we're gonna find out. God damn it!
Scat Shriek. That's what that is.
That's a Gore Streak.
Gore Streak. Yes.
Love it.
Shit.
Okay, so stickers.
Stickers. So this sticker that's on the left is the exclusive sticker that's going to be in the Ultimate Edition only. This is drawn and colored and fashioned by Steve. We were trying to come up with different mascots, things that could represent the company that were characters and things like this. And this is an original character that Steve came up with. And we loved it so much, we wanted to make it a sticker and put it out there and give people, because usually everything comes with a sticker that's branded towards whatever project it is we're working on. Then we put a Roughhouse sticker in there. When we did Witchworm, we tried to make the Roughhouse sticker. We tried to make it of that. See, what am I trying to say? Like
we themed it because Witchworm was all cold and snowy and stuff. So we made the Roughhouse sticker. The house is covered in snow and same blues and stuff. So it was all kind of thematically similar.
Yeah. So every time we come out with a new book, we want to have a Roughhouse sticker that's fashioned to be part of whatever it is that project is, or and then of course the stickers that come with the property itself. So this is Steve's sticker, and then there's 2 other Gore Shriek stickers that come with the cover A and the cover B edition.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, does this character have a name?
He's the Brick Slayer.
That's clever. That's so dad joke clever that I love it. Like,
yeah, I wanted him to be like my Jason. So he's like an undead dude who like died in, I don't know, radioactive mortar or some shit. I don't know. We didn't actually write a story for it. It was just a messing around kind of idea. But the idea was that he would be like covered in constantly dripping like wet cement, kind of like mortar, kind of idea. But I still think he'd be like, maybe one day we'll do something with him. But it's fun to at least get this was literally just kind of just concept, like Derek said, we're just trying to come up with ideas for things and whatever. And then I was just kind of like, you know what, I think I'm going to color this. I haven't colored anything in a while. And I think this is the first time Derek ever saw me color anything. And so it was just it was fun, and I'm happy we we get to use it for something at all. And it's great. I hope people like it. But to be up there with the Gurch is pretty crazy. So it's pretty fun.
I think this is one of, if not the first, one of the very few things that I've seen you color too. So
one of sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say one of the black honey stickers was colored by Steve as well.
Okay.
There was one with there's a big word black that's smearing down the wall, and then there's a honeycomb at the bottom of it with one of the stylized bees on it. Steve colored all of that, and he did some color work for the cards that were on the inside, the part of the special features on Black Honey as well. He basically took it the rest of the way, so to speak.
I will have to go back through my collection and look at them and be like, pardon me just 1 second.
I'm a good, I polish it up sometimes. Sometimes that happens.
You're pretty talented there, man.
Yeah, well, thanks.
All right, next we have the double-sided postcard with the artwork by the Gurch.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
I love all this old-time stuff.
Yeah. See, again, it's like that homage, that parody sort of angle. And he did this 100% unprompted. Like, this is just what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he just sent it to us. This is his sense of humor, front to back. If you've seen the body of Gurch's work, you get a lot of this type of stuff. He did a postcard for us in the last issue. So it's really cool that we have this motif at this point with him kind of going with his own sensibilities and his own sense of humor present. A lot of times we take the artwork and we turn it into something here at Ground Zero. So like that was a piece of artwork for anything, and we used it to make the barf bag. So we did all the graphic design work around it and everything else. But this is all Gertch by himself.
It's just great. I cannot wait to have my hands on this. I'm just like, I get excited.
I always wonder if anybody who got one of those ever mailed one to their friend, like wrote something, and sent it to California.
That's sacrilege. Like, it took you guys telling me it was okay to open up my hot sauce, like being like, no, really, it's okay. You don't have to. I'm like, but it's, and you're like, it's hot sauce. It's good hot sauce. It's not a gimmick. Eat it. It's great. And I was like,
I think the first reaction to the hot sauce the first time around was that it wasn't really hot sauce, that it was like made to look like hot sauce, but it was supposed to stay in the bottle and just kind of be there. So the first half was us convincing everybody that it was edible and it was real. And then
now I'm like rationing it, so now I know I don't have to necessarily ration it so much because
there will be more.
There will be more. Jeff can guarantee
just eat it. You only live once, Delphine.
You'll love it. Oh, yeah. I do. It's good. Okay, so the movie poster. I love this.
So good.
Yeah. So this is basically just a movie poster styling of Jeff Zorno's design. So this is all of his artwork. This is also a black and white version of this is the content page of our comic. But this is Jeff's artwork. That's his colors. And it just looks so damn awesome. And it had its own personality. We wanted to make it something for somebody. So we thought that a cool fake movie poster would be like a real nice 100-pound stock movie poster would be nice as an extra for folks. A lot of people like to frame our stuff, so it's cool that they have something that's frameable. It's not going to be rolled up. It'll be presented as is. And yeah, it's the color work is beautiful, and I think a lot of people really enjoy it.
Oh, I love the stuff that you guys send me. I have a lot of my stuff stashed away right now because I'm hoping to get out of this apartment into a better place, and then I'm going to have the room where I have everything on display. And the problem is going to be the double-sided stuff because you got to get the double-sided display things, But I have plans and
just flip it every couple months, and then you have a brand new poster.
Well, no, Raz, who was just saying hi, he misses you.
Yeah,
hey, Raz, what's going on, man?
He was tipping me off on where to get the display things that aren't like, this is a restaurant display case, so you don't have to spend like $100 on one. You can get a nice little plastic one that sets up, and then I put it in my glass cabinet and I get it angled. It'll rock. It'll work. And we're gonna see the last thing here, as you were talking about, is the death certificate.
And the death certificate, when it's done, it is going to be full color, just like the other posters you saw. So it'll be cool that it will be hand signed and it'll have personalization on it, but you can also put it in a frame, and it's going to be a beautiful piece of art. This is drawn by Alex Sarabia, who's one of the artists. He did the Ravenous story inside Gore Shriek Ressurectus 3, and he did this amazing piece of artwork for us for the death certificate. This is all his design, his idea. He was so enthusiastic, and I do want to take a minute and talk about all the artists that are going to be on this project. But Alex is by far one of the most enthusiastic and talented artists that I've met in the industry in recent times. Worth every single solitary piece of praise he ever gets. Immensely talented. We worked on another project together called the New York Ripper 2, which is coming out this spring. And people are really going to get an idea of what Alex can do, because he drew that entire book, and he's just damn amazing. And we're so lucky to have had him at the time that we do, because I swear to God, he's going to blow up, and we're not going to be able to afford him one day. So I'm glad we got him while we could.
Absolutely.
What's up, Taylor?
Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah, Taylor in the house. Taylor, our Rough House #1 fan. There he is.
Oh my God, Taylor is.
He's one who keeps the lights on at the Rough House.
Taylor's keeps the lights on at Rough House, but I'm not sure if the lights are on at Taylor's house because he's bought some shit. You know, he's bought so many pieces of my original artworks.
Yeah.
My hats is off to this guy, and he's amazing. As a matter of fact, a long time ago, the time has passed, but I was going to. This is probably going back like 5, 6, 7, 8 years now. I don't know, but I was gonna. There was a thing going on where you could box Worcester folks, and the money all went towards underprivileged teens, basically. So I was probably, well, I don't want to, I was older at the time, even older now, but I was like, all right, well, if I want to get into fighting shape, what do I have to do? And I don't know if anybody's seen pictures of Taylor, but you can do a lot worse than having somebody like him being the Mickey that's in your corner when you're getting ready for an event like that. And I reached out to Taylor. I'm like, dude, what do you think, man? And in true Taylor fashion, he wrote me this manifesto of exactly what I needed to do in order to get into that shape. And alas, it never happened. There were some things that went on that just, it wasn't aligned, but I still have that workout regimen. So if there's any time that I ever want to have arms bigger than my head, like Taylor, I know how to do it now. So, but Taylor's amazing. He's been with us all the way back as far as I can remember, and just true blue all the way. Much like you, Delphine. He's just, you guys are on board for whatever it is that we do, and we just love you guys so much. Can't tell you the amount of appreciation that we get from you, Raz, all these guys. It's just, it blows my mind, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, you earned it, though. That's the thing. It's not something that's being given. It's something that was earned. You put so much into everything you do. Like, I always feel good purchasing from you because I always know I'm going to get something amazing. And some people, I worry about it because I'm just like, oh, I bought this, and I was like, oh, wow, I just spent, like 3 times as much as I would buy something from you guys. And I got like, oh, it came with a silk bookmark. Neat. You know what I mean?
I do. And we stress about it. Steve and I stress about it all the time. But Steve and I stress about it all the time. We're always concerned that, so some of the stuff that we work on is maybe taking a little too long, or, people are waiting too long for it, whatever. And what's that perception going to be like in the long term? And we worry about it because we care. But at the end of the day, you're right. We're making things that we ourselves would want in the level of quality that we would want it in. So we're hoping that, if you guys have to wait a little bit for it, that when it finally comes out, it's just got that punch, and it just makes everything else worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good.
All right. So you wanted to talk about a couple of the rest of the artists that were involved in the project?
Yeah, absolutely. So unlike the last issue of the book, I think, had 11 artists involved, and this one has just about half of that. We wanted to keep it more small and intimate. Steve, so his first comic book story was in Ressurectus 2. That was called The Nowhere Man. And this issue, in addition to the Ballingorzette, Steve wrote 3 stories for this issue. There's 7 stories altogether. So he had a much, much bigger role all the way from the inception. Steve was late into that game, so some of those stories were already in different phases of production. But with this, we got to brainstorm and come up with all these cool ideas. And, without giving too much away, Steve, did you want to talk a little bit about your contributions to the book?
Without giving too much away, meaning what? We can
don't give away the last page of any one of your 3 stories.
Yeah, the one that was, I'm most excited about is the Mothman story with, so that was me and Alex all the way, Alex Arabia, and we worked on that back in pandemic. This has been in the works for some time, so the artwork on that was, it was really really fun because we went back and forth on the characters and the monster and had to get everything just right. And he was really great to work with, very enthusiastic, very, 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 as Derek said, very, very, very talented artist. And the heavy metal hunk that's been mentioned a couple of times is based on a very good friend of mine. So I wanted to make sure that his likeness was just so, and he just absolutely nailed it. And the monster, we went through just so many iterations to get this. This care. Oh yeah, that's there's the heavy metal hunk with his ravenous shirt there. And the Mothman is like, I'm just so proud of this monster. I mean, like it was something that we went through probably 10 or 15 different versions of to get it just right, and he was just there every step of the way, and it was like, oh no, it's too skinny, it needs to be more shouldery, more furry, and I really wanted it to be a Mothman we hadn't seen before, and something that looked like, a threat, but it had to look just so, because the story, its anatomy had to be exactly the way it's described in the story for a reason I won't give away. But yeah, really, really fun. It's not a long story, but it is an action-packed, really fun story that actually connects to a world of a couple other stories that I've written, one of which appeared in my book, Black Honey. So there's a story in there called Off-Road, and this Mothman story, which is called Ravenous, it connects to the world of Off-Road, and it's pretty fun. So that was like, my main one I'm so excited about, and there's, the other two are great too. It's been really fun. Some of these were, Derek's idea, and I helped him develop it, and in one of them it was more like all Derek, and then I just wrote the script for it, and it's a great time. It's a really fun book overall, and having everybody collaborate and work on stuff. Everybody's so in the same wheelhouse. Everybody gets what we're trying to do, basically, and yeah, I just couldn't be more proud of this book. And I'm really, really happy that the last story in the book was a Mike Wason story, and that he was able to get in this book as well. He's, going back to the beginning of this project, to the first issue. I mean, wouldn't even have the license if not for Mike. So that's really, really cool that he was able to get something in this as well. And it really just feels like a family book, for the Roughhouse family. And we did grow the family for this book. I mean, as Derek said, we shrunk the amount of people working on it, but Alex hadn't worked with us before. A couple other artists, Puis hadn't worked. We hadn't worked with him. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly. The artist of one of the stories, absolutely freaking amazing artist, Derek found. And then the dude who Michael Harper. There you go. Whose art appears on his book that you worked on as well. I See Monsters. So I mean, and Delphine has it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. It's awesome stuff. So I'm very excited to see this in print finally. Can't wait. Yeah, there it is.
It's really good.
And we're actually going to finally supposedly have a certain amount of copies of I See Monsters at the show that's coming up at Dead of Winter next weekend. But we'll see how fast they get here. But yeah, Michael Harper was somebody who was recommended to me. He had previously worked on some stuff for Heavy Metal Magazine the first time around. And again, a very independent style, a very unique style. As soon as you see it, you know that it belongs to this in particular artist. And again, like it wasn't a popularity contest. It wasn't about finding names that were sellable. It was about artwork that was genuine and people that were genuine. And that's what Michael is. That's what Puis is. Puis Galzada is his whole name. And again, I'm not sure if I'm saying his first name right. I hope I am. But he's actually, amongst other things, he's done a bunch of things for Ebon Press. He's done a bunch of comic book work for them. But most recently, he's the Metallica merch artist. So he's all the tour shirts you see, all the designs, but that's Puis' work. Metallica has in part of their stage show, it's hard for me to describe how it's set up, but there's screens that kind of encompass this circle of where the stage is, because they always do in the round in the middle of the stadium. And his artwork is the artwork that's flashing up on those screens in front of 30,000 people. So that's fucking amazing, if I do say so myself. That's about as metal as fuck as you can possibly get. And one of the most he's kind of up there with the Gurch, just super agreeable, just is all about the work. Just we told him what we wanted. He did a story called Clash of the 21st Century, which is our first kaiju story, and it plays out very, very, very much like a Mad Magazine story. It's very tight. It's straight up comedy. It's made to just be fun and goofy and funny and gross and all these things, and it is all those things. That's one of the 3 stories that Steve wrote. And again, part of the job as an editor is trying to find artwork that matches story styles and things like that, and who would be the best visually to encompass this type of story versus that one, whatever. And I think we nailed it. So out of the 3 stories that Steve wrote, I get to draw one, Puis did one, and Mike and Alex did one.
Nice.
Yeah. And I don't think I'm forgetting everybody. That was pretty much it. And then we had, like I said, Mike Wason, who's been with us all the way back from the beginning. He came back to do the closing story, which is called This Slaughterhouse Earth. That's the story that takes us off into the good night. That's the one that's drawn by Michael Harper. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody. So there's definitely things that are in the know, that if you get it, you get it. If you don't, then it's just a fun story anyway. And then the Gurch and Jeff Zorno came back to kind of pepper in their artwork in there. Like Gurch is very heavy on the extras. Jeff Zorno is very heavy on the extras. He did a bunch of the coloring for me for this one. And yeah, it's just, it was a more intimate project. It was based on everybody's best work. There's, the one thing that sucks about sequential art, especially when you're dealing with deadlines, is that sometimes the time runs out. So you have to, it's almost like being a VFX artist for a movie. Eventually you have to lock the movie and you have to put it out no matter what. Sometimes the effects aren't the way the artist would like to see them. Maybe the audience doesn't even notice, but the artist always notices and the writers always notice. So we wanted to make sure that from a writing and an artistic standpoint, we were very, very happy with what was going out there, because we were fairly certain that if we were happy with it, that you guys would absolutely love it. And I think we achieved that.
Awesome. So now that Gore Shriek is coming to its end, do you guys have anything else that you're looking forward to in the future, or are you just waiting to get all this done and then?
Unemployment, definitely. Yeah, we're going to work at Price Chopper. We're going to bag groceries, and it's going to be a career fulfilled at that point.
All right.
I'm only kidding. I'm going to shovel snow.
Yeah, we got stuff in the pipeline for sure. Yeah, we
aspirations.
Yeah,
we got stuff in the pipeline.
Okay, cool. Gotta keep seeing more stuff coming out.
It's the end of. It's not the end of Gore. It's not the end of Rough House. It's the end of.
Yeah.
Rough House's time with Gore Shriek, basically.
There we go.
Fantico Enterprises is an active, living, breathing company again. It wasn't. It was dormant at the time that we started this whole thing, which is 10 years ago now. So there, I'm positive Tom has other things in the works, not just for his Gore Shriek license, but all of his stuff. He's just as active now as I've ever seen him in all of the years. So as the years have gone on, he has not slowed down. And we were very honored to be able to work with his baby, and we were very honored that he was so happy with what we gave him, that we gave him a strong representation of what the product's essence always was. And yeah, and then as far as Roughhouse goes, like Steve said, we always have tons of ideas. Sometimes one gets pushed to the side, another one gets pushed to the forefront out of all sorts of reasons, time, circumstance, who knows. But we are moving in a more creator-owned direction. And again, we touched upon the state of the union as far as distribution goes for national comics. So we expect that we're going to see a lot more creator-owned stuff be crowdfunded on their own. And I wouldn't be surprised if we went in that direction as well. And formally, we've always done our own version of it, but I think that there's a couple projects in particular that would lend itself very well to like a Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. And when we have enough time to really do it right and do it properly and put it out there the way we want, we'll see how it does. And I'm just as curious as everybody else.
All right. Steve, do you have anything else to throw out at us? Yeah.
To throw out at you?
Yeah.
Please make this help us go out with a bang with this series, guys. If you're interested in horror and horror comics, it's a really, really fun anthology series. Lots of different writers, lots of different artists. If you haven't read the first couple, they're still available as well. A really, really good time to pick up all three. And all I can say is we've been working on this really hard for a really long time, and I really hope you guys dig it. And, we can move on to the next thing feeling strong and fulfilled and all that good stuff and get this book in people's hands finally. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be rad.
It's going to be rad. It's going to be
rad,
Raz.
Dude. Raz. It's going to be Raz.
Yeah, it's going to be Raz. Yeah. So,
okay, beyond the Rough House website, where do you guys like people interacting with you?
So roughhousepublishing.com is where you can buy all our stuff. We kind of realized as time has gone on that it doesn't really matter where people buy it as long as you give them a link next to whatever it is you're selling. Mm-hmm. They'll go there and they'll buy it. But roughhousepublishing.com is where you get all of our products, all the ones that haven't sold out. We still have some Black Honeys that are available as well. We have both issues of Gore Shriek Ressurectus number 1 and 2 still available in very limited quantities. I predict that they will both be sold out by midsummer. We got some live shows coming up that typically we do really well and come home empty-handed with. Those books have been around quite a long time now, and they are down to probably about 150 each, maybe a little bit less. So if you guys are on the fence about it and you want to give it a shot, now's a good time. Otherwise, we're on all the socials except we're not on Twitter, but we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram as well.
I'm on Blue Sky as well. Not that I do a lot there, but yeah, can find us.
Yeah, you type Rough House Publishing up in a Google search engine, it'll pull us all up anyways.
Or our names as well. We have lots of accounts,
Yeah, and
lots of ways to contact us.
The one thing that I kind of want to expound upon that Steve brought up was, now's a really great time to get on board with what Rough House is doing and latch on and whatever. And he's not wrong. This is a very interesting time in general. for a lot of businesses, for the State of the Union, all the way across the board. And we want to keep doing this with you guys. We want to keep giving you guys this level of product. We're never going to give you less, so it's either going to be this or nothing, one way or the other. But a lot of people that don't know anything about us will when they meet us will say, you guys got to go back and talk to the rest of you Roughhouse guys and see if you can do this or that or the other thing, not realizing that they're talking to the only two Roughhouse guys. Steve and I run this entire company, just the two of us. And, we're both graphic designers, we're both artists, we're both colorists, we're both writers. And whatever needs to be done on the table, 90% of it is done by us unless we outsource it or we partner up with other vendors like we talked about Silk City, we talked about Fat Foot Films, to do the things that we can't do or don't do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now's a really great time to celebrate entrepreneurship and independent artworks and independent works in general. And we love the living shit out of you guys so much. There's no words to describe how humbled and grateful we always are. We love seeing you guys when we go out on the road and we get to see you guys in person. Delphine, unfortunately, when we were in Ohio, we didn't get a chance to see you.
She's not in Ohio.
Because you're not in Ohio, and that would explain why. So wherever you live currently, we haven't visited you there yet, but we hope to all have a drink and enjoy ourselves one of these days. And we got to meet Raz when we went out last year, and that was a pleasure. And some of these folks that they're chiming in on your message board, some we've met, some we haven't, and just an amazing experience for us. It really is. It's
fun.
If you want to catch drinks, I'm coming up to Connecticut again this year for Terrificon, so I'll be in the roundabout area kind of thing.
I should be there, so I'm sure I'll see you at Terrificon. There's some really cool guests this year.
I'll talk about it after the show. All right, so everybody go out. Mark the date on your calendar, March 6th at 7 p.m. Central, correct?
Eastern. Yep.
Oh, 7 p.m. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I would have been off by an hour. 7 p.m. Eastern. This goes on sale. You're going to be able to. Oh, it's so exciting. You're going to love what you get. People call me crazy, but I seriously, I squee every time I get a package from you guys. And Weird House too. I just go crazy over my mail.
That's awesome. Well,
But
join us. We're going to be doing a live event. Usually we do it like a Facebook Live about an hour before the website goes live, just to kind of be with everybody, get psyched up, kind of pregame together. And then once that hour mark hits, we're all off to the races. So it should be a lot of fun. Delphine, we look forward to seeing you then.
Oh, I'll be there.
And everybody else that joined us tonight, thank you so much for popping in and saying hello to us.
Yep. And thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of The Clutch. We hope to see you. Oh, I've got so much stuff going on this week. Tomorrow night, we have A Tomb of the Terrible, and we are watching Hotel something I can't pronounce. Monsieur, I believe, is what it is. And then also catch me on Tuesday. On Splash Pages, we have Tony Fleeks on. And so that's going to be some serious fun. We're reading Local Man, Feral, and some other stuff. Tony Fleeks will make you laugh, and he will make you just bawl your eyes out because he writes such tragic things, and they involve animals, and you're just like, God, no, not. Oh God, why did the puppy have to die?
Not the squirrel puppet. Why?
But why? And Stevie will be joining us next Tuesday, I think, for Ian Flynn. Is that correct? You're going to be
something.
One of the Splash Pages.
See the Mega Man guy?
I think so. Yeah.
That'll be me. That'll be me then.
Yeah, I get them all confused. We're booked through June, so I'm just I just got a lot of reading to do. But
yes, Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn.
Yes.
I'm there. Yep.
So get your reading on. Go buy the back copies of things. Buy some of Steve's books. Buy some other stuff. Get ready for this. Get ready to celebrate. And thank you very much for showing up. I hope you all are doing good. And I can't push the button when I'm doing the metal hands, but have a good night, y'all.
Thanks, Delphine. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.